So grateful, I'm so thankful, 'cause I was in my sin, couldn't get out, yeah. Then he sent his son to bring me out. I'm so grateful, yeah, I'm so thankful. I was in my sin, and I couldn't get out, oh yeah. Then he sent his son to bring me out. I was headed for destruction, and I know it, but I'm so glad, yeah.
I really can't see you though. Praise the Lord, brothers and sisters. Definitely a pleasure to stand before you and present the word of God to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Y'all have to excuse this brother. He been doing multi-duties, you know, so he kind of got a little tongue-tied here. But we definitely open up with the Lord's Prayer because we can't never play too much, you know. And then we go into our song. So we just make sure we know this next time, if there is a next time. You talking about going back out to Mississippi, so you know they do it a little different over there, but that's all right. Today we're gonna deal with a lesson called "Thou Shalt Not Covet," and we're gonna deal with pride, arrogancy, and lust. Now, you gotta kind of understand, and I did give a couple of handouts out of the class, but to be honest with you, I'm gonna deviate a little bit off of this, just because once we get down to actually breaking down some words, and I'm gonna throw a couple of other scriptures in there, but not too many, so it's not too much pressure. But what you gotta understand is, when God gave the 10 Commandments, every commandment came from one of these 10 commandments. And when I said every commandment, like, it's only 10, but then we go in there and we see, oh, well, you're not supposed to eat swine. You're not supposed to, you know, sleep with your sister. You know, whatever the case may be. All these commandments, we're going to read this. They all hinge off the 10 commandments. And we're going to actually show, when we get into the scriptures, what I mean more clearly by that. And with this "Thou shalt not covet," this is one of the commandments. You know, I remember years ago, we would always say, the Lord judge your actions. You know, the Lord judge what you do. You know, like, you might be wrong for thinking a certain way, but the Lord judge what you do. But we're going to learn today that in the 10 Commandments, he gave a commandment that dealt with your brain. And it's "Thou shalt not covet." See, it's not a physical way you can covet. Now, you know, you can go to the store and steal as a result of you coveting. You understand? But you was coveting at first. It's all started in your mind. Your desires. You lusted. You want. And that's what we're going to get into today a little bit. Thou shalt not covet. By the way, February is over with. So, time to beat us up again. Because that's how, you know, I mean, it's time, no, but honestly, though, it's time to put that mirror back in your face with that law and check yourself. So this one here is one that we fall victim to. See, we don't fall victim to "Thou shalt not kill." We don't fall victim to "Thou shalt not, you know, steal, commit adultery." Some of the other things that, you know, that we know where I'm not gonna eat no pork. But this one here, we fall victim to this one. And then when we fall victim to it, we act like we ain't did nothing. And that's because that's the scariness of the arrogancy and the pride part of it. You see what I'm saying? Because these two is what leads you down that path of reprobate. That's what those two lead. This one will too, though, understand. But I'm just saying, this one here, we more identify this with, you know, a sexual desire. That's what, you know, that's generally. But these two here, all three of these go with this. We're gonna learn that, because see, with coveting, it means you want something. All right, that means you really want something, right? Well, it's generally your pride that got you wanting your neighbor car or the house that your neighbor live in. You understand? And generally, and then your arrogancy. See, arrogancy, we're gonna look up the definition of that word. It's when you think you more than what you really are. Now this is about, we want the fame. You know, when you want, you know, you want to seem big to everybody. You want to seem so important to everybody. That's where this arrogancy come in. But we're gonna get into a little bit of that. Like you see, we got Big Boy Dictionary. I forgot he had the same one. I ain't gonna have to bring it, but got the Big Boy Dictionary because it's important that you learn what some of these words are. Because, you know, we'll read the Bible, and we'll get in the Bible, and we just read, and then we don't know what the word is. We just keep reading, don't know that that word was talking about you and your actions. So So we're going to make sure that we clarify that today. Because a lot of times we'll read that stuff and I'll say to you, well, you got to go find out what that word means on your own. Go do your homework. Well, this time I put it in this class. Because still, we are where the teachers learn. You see what I'm saying? So it's my job to teach the teachers. So now I'm about to show the teachers some of these definitions and some of these words in this book that pertain to us. So one, it can affect your life. And two, when you get out there and preach this gospel, you'll be able to elaborate a little more on what some of those words are. But we're going to get to all that as we proceed further. We're going to go ahead and start this off in Matthew chapter 22. And we're going to pick it up in verse 36. I did have a class on Jerusalem prepared. I mean, I really wanted to teach it. I guess I will. And the Lord been hitting me with this one hard. Like he been hitting me with these scriptures. He hit me with the title. Like it's just. And when you say, how did the Lord hit you? I mean, shoot, it was in my brain. It just kept coming. And you put this scripture in there. You could put this scripture in there. And they said, you know, I got all these scriptures in my head. I'm like, shoot, it must need to be. Must need to be now. You know what I'm saying? Really make it so bad. It was tagging me more than anything. Like, all right, man, check this stuff, bro. You know, covenant and stuff. Because the world is built around covenants. And I'm gonna give you an example of that. Little children ride down the street, see a sign McDonald's. What's the first thing they say? I want McDonald's. So watching your sporting event. Next thing you know, commercial come on. I want new Nikes. See, the world is sanctioned or is set up to make us want, to make us desire. You know, but it's up to us to learn how to discipline and become temperate within ourselves. And to learn to be content. That was the other scripture I was looking for right here. I was like, it was one more. It was that one. But I don't need to find it. We ain't going to put it in here. Or maybe we will. Matthew 22, verse 36 through 40. And this is where we're going to start this off at today. But when you get there, go ahead and read.
Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all their heart, with all their soul,
go ahead,
with all their mind. This is the first and great commandment.
Okay.
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right.
On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Alright, so this is how we're going to do this today. In fact, everybody or most of you guys should have a handout of what today's class is. You can get one. I don't have no more, sorry. yeah, he probably take care of that. But, and the reason I did that is because I knew that I was going to work the board today. Alright. So, it said all these commandments hinge on these two. So we're going to start this kind of off like this. And one was, what was the first one he said? He said, what's the two greatest commandments? What was the first commandment?
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart,
okay,
and all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
So we love the Lord. That's how we're going to put it. Love the Lord. Love the Lord. And can somebody besides Brother Joe tell me what the second commandment was?
Love your neighbor.
Love your neighbor as yourself. All right. So somebody spell neighbor for me. Okay, that's good. Love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. I'm a left professor, know how to spell. All right. All right. So these two commandments, all the rest of them gonna hang on. Like I said, hang on. So we gonna hang the rest of the commandments on these two. But it said all the law and the prophets hang on. I think it said that. Let's see. On these two, yeah, all the law and the prophets. So we gonna literally be able to hang all the law and the prophets on this. All right. So let's go on over to Exodus chapter 20. Time for us to get into the commandments a little bit. Can't never not read this enough. I'm gonna try to put this title back up here, but we're gonna need this board a lot today. And I like, to be honest with you, I like the board. Because, you know, sometimes, first of all, I'm trying to leave it up there. But first of all, the board gives us that classroom feel. You know what I'm saying? Like we learn something. And that's what we are here to do. You know, when you leave church, it should be, what did I learn today? Okay, that's the first thing. But the second thing is sometimes we need to see a little more. You know what I'm saying? We need to, you know, because a lot of times I had that whole visual in my head. So I might be talking, I see it, but you can't see it, therefore you're not quickly catching on. Or even the person you're talking to. So sometimes I done literally took a piece of paper and did this for somebody before. Breaking down how all the law, you know, you sitting around, well, let me just show you what I mean. Because I got to get you to understand. Because you as a teacher, you're only as good as your students. If your students is an idiot, what kind of teacher did that make you? You see what I'm saying? Because you wasn't able to get nothing across to them. Alright? So I like to use this stuff here. So let's get into the Exodus 20. We're going to look at these commandments. And we're going to kind of put them up here a little bit. So go ahead and start with verse 1.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord their God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
So he identified himself. I'm the one that brought you out of Egypt, just in case you want to know. And as a kid said last night, he might as well said, I'm the one that split open the Red Sea. So, you know, I got power. So you might want to listen to what I got to say. Go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So he put that first commandment right there, don't have no other God before you. So we're just going to put number 1. We ain't going to write all of it up there. We're just going to put number 1 right there. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
So not only did he tell you, that's 2 commandments there, by the way. Not only did he say, thou shalt have no other God before me, then he said, you ain't supposed to make no graven images and bow down to them. Now, when I first heard this one, you know, back in the day, not first heard it, but, you know, I'm studying with my peoples, and I used to have a little dog. I used to love the little dog. It was a little statue. And he was like, man, that's a graven image, man. You got to get rid of that. So, you know, me and my zeal, I took the dog, threw it out, you know. But then I realized later, it's 10 commandments. That was the same commandment. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images of anything, of any, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, that is in the earth beneath, that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. So that don't mean you can't have no statues. You know, if you want to, you know, if you like elephants, you know, some people like elephants. You might have a little elephant statue. But you aren't supposed to bow down to these things. See, if you really want to understand something, it's cultures out there, like even the Indian culture, who bow down and worship these, in the Indian culture, what they call them on them, what they not teepees, but they totem poles, I think or something, when they be having all these living animals on there, you know, they say they got the spirits of the dead or their ancestors, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's on that level. Then you got Buddha. I mean, everybody know about Buddha, you know, Buddha bless you and all that crazy stuff. And they got the, you know, the Shiva with all the different arms and all that type of stuff. They have actually made statues for these people and bow down to them. Then even there's rumored, and I say rumored because I ain't never been in the Pope's chambers, but they say he got a shrine of the Black Madonna in there. You know, like the Black Mary, which is really not even Mary. You know what I'm saying? This is probably, what is Isis, yeah. You know, one of them Egyptian guys, whatever the case is. The point is, it's not just about having the image. It's about worshiping this image. And that falls under how you love the Lord. All right, keep reading.
And show mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Go ahead.
That's not take the name of the Lord their God in vain.
So now we see another one, taking the Lord's name in vain. Alright, go ahead. For
the Lord will not hold them guiltless that take his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Then we got the Sabbath day over here. Keep it holy. So we got your first 4 commandments over here. Now inside those 4 commandments, because it said all the law and the prophets hinge on that. You got your stuff like your dietary law. You know, you got your the Leviticus, you know, the law with that dealt with the priesthood. All whatever, you know, we're just gonna put priest up here, whatever went with it, you know. This is all showing you how you love the Lord. You got your Sabbath days. You know, you got your Sabbaths. All this sit, because it said on the 4th commandment, it said remember the Sabbath day. But we got more than just one Sabbath day. Because remember in Matthew 22, which is where we got this from. Just put that right there. Matthew 22, it said that all the law and the prophets hang on the commandments. So that means that we should be able to go back and find all the commandments and put them somewhere. Is there any other commandment that we could say, love the Lord, you know, just showing that you love the Lord with all your heart and with all your mind? Can anybody think of another? Anybody? Nobody no more to go with love the Lord? So all we got is dietary law, the priesthood, and the Sabbath days.
They said don't take the name of the Lord I got in vain.
Taking his name in vain. There we go. So here we go. So if you're going to represent Christ and you're going to start acting a fool or being wicked, you done took the name of the Lord in vain. Or like I said, you know, you're going to go out there stealing, you done took the name of God in vain. So really, to break the commandments in itself. Yup, there you go. Cause that's what you're doing when you done made the covenant. All right, you done made the covenant. We're just gonna put that up there. You done made the covenant, and you decide you're gonna break the commandments. You really done killed this half of it right here. Cause you done took the name of the Lord in vain. Cause you took his name. You Israel now. You Jesus. You Christian. Whatever, however you want to label yourself when you got up under that water. So you took his name, but you go out here and you start breaking the commandments. Like it said in Proverbs 30, he said that if you gonna go out here and steal, then you done took the name of your God in vain. So you start breaking them commandments, then really you ain't showing that you love the Lord. But we know this already. Because how do you love the Lord? By keeping the commandments. This works. I mean, it's really simple when you think about it. But I'm just trying to give you where you can see it all, where it makes where we got some clarity on it. Now we're gonna look at how you love your neighbor. And this is one that's gonna deal with covenant. Go ahead. We should be at verse okay, read on through. Just read on through, y'all.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it.
We still dealing with the first half. But go ahead.
6 days shall thy labor do all that work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
So we still dealing with loving the Lord. That's it. You should. Like, you're not doing no work. You ain't doing this. This is your servitude towards your God. Like I said at other time, this is a sign between me and my people. You know, when I want to know what God you serve, my first question is, do you know about the Sabbath day? Straight up. Because if you don't, then I know that's the sign. I know that's what would have kept the children of Israel in the land. So I'm going to put you on either one side or the other. That don't mean just because you keep the Sabbath that I think you got 100% purity in your doctrine. But I just know, okay, so we trying to serve the same God. Because that's the sign between, sign means this is identification. Stop sign. I mean, when you see something, you stop. So he said, and what's it, Exodus 31, I think it was, maybe 36, don't quote me on that. But he said, thank you, in 31. He said that this is a sign between the Lord and his people, keeping the Sabbath day. So that's your, oh, you go to church on Sunday? Sorry, that's not the same God. Like, you know what I mean? I know you a good dude, you know, I know you wouldn't take nothing from me, but, you know, we just don't serve the same God. That's the sign right there. All right, and that's why, you know, when you start dealing with your Hebrews, that's why I can tolerate them. Even though they, oh, y'all sure, blah, this, I can tolerate them. You know what I'm saying? Because I still know when it's all said and done, though, we got the commandments we can still fall back on. Ain't no interpretation to keeping the Sabbath day. Ain't no interpretation to don't bow down to these images. Let's go on to the rest of these commandments, because ain't no interpretation to these either. Go ahead.
All right, finish off verse 10.
You know what? Just go ahead and skip down to 12.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that the days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth.
So this is the first commandment that we see that actually gave you a promise for doing. It promised you life if you did. This is the first commandment that deals with your neighbor. The first neighbor you're going to ever have is your mom and your dad. So he say, look, honor them. He laid the foundation on how, you know, how you going to be structured in the house. The child ain't going to run the parent. The parent going to run the child. It's going to be an honor system there. And if you do this, you live. If you don't want to do this, you die. And we see that on the streets. You know, we see it because half the time, most of these homes ain't got but one parent. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a problem right there. They say honor your mother and your father. But then, you know, these boys get so big that, you know, they feel like they ain't got to, you know, their mama can't tell them nothing. So now they want to get out there and get on the streets. And then they die in their early ages, 16, 17, 15, 21, 23. You see what I'm saying? That's sad. But all you gotta do, this will prolong life. I guarantee you, because it is promised here. So we got commandment number 5. That goes here. Go ahead, keep reading.
Thou shalt not kill.
So thou shalt not kill. That's commandment number 6. This is showing you, this still hangs on the 2. The 2 is love the Lord with all your heart, and your neighbor as yourself. And now we put in the commandments, and we said all the law and the prophets hang off of them. So we put a few of them over here, and we're going to put some over here, because actually, covenant and pride and arrogance, he going to be on that back end. But go ahead, keep reading.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
All right, now with adultery. What's that? Commandment number, that's number 6, ain't it? No, that's number 7. All right, so under adultery, that's your fornicating. That'll tell you in the New Testament, don't fornicate. You know what I'm saying? And fornication is adultery is when you sleep with another man's wife. Fornication is any immoral sexual acts. You know, like if you want to go out here and they say fornicators don't get into the kingdom, by the way. So if you want to get out here and you want to be promiscuous and sleep around with different women, that's a fornicator. And you know, they say don't make no whores and whoremongers in Israel. You're going to end up going to the lake of fire for that. But that one, it don't say in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not fornicate. It says thou shalt not commit adultery. But all the law and the prophets hang off of these 10. So that one fell under number 7. Your homosexuality. That one fall here too. The homo. Right. But it did. Oh, you know what? When I did think of when we was over here, your witchcraft. That fall over here too. Your witchcraft. And your witchcraft and all that astrology, thank you, all that BS that they on. All that fall over here because you're dealing with other guys with that. You know, right. You know, you starting dealing with the stars and all that crap. Okay, so we got, you know, your homosexuality, your bestiality, and all that type of stuff. And then you got fornication. These are the things that fall under not committing adultery. Okay. Now what else we got? What's the next one?
That's not steal.
Now we're gonna learn something else too today. That it's gonna come a time when you could break a commandment, and you break more than one by an action, like adultery. Adultery, if you commit adultery, do you realize you're stealing as well? And we're going to prove that. But when I say that, because you got to understand that that's my wife. She belongs to me. If this brother, I know you, but if this brother was to try to go, he done stole my wife. Not only did he commit adultery or fornicated with her, he done stole her too. That's more than one crime, more than one sin. That's why we're going to read about that a little bit later, that you really lack some understanding. That's the understanding you lack, that you didn't just break one commandment. Okay? But keep going though. Thou shalt not steal. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
It didn't say thou shalt not lie. It didn't say lie, but we know other places it tell us don't lie. Just like other places it tell us don't put a stumbling block before the blind. And well, that fall right up into here. Honor your mother and your father, but generally do the elders. You see what I'm saying? Like it's gonna play itself somewhere up in here. Somewhere in here. You know, and maybe they fit in more than one place. Don't really matter. You see what I'm saying? The bottom line is all the commandments, the whole 10 hang on these 2. Because the question to Jesus, what's the greatest commandment? He like, these 2. Which is actually, basically he's saying, keep the commandments. Go ahead, keep reading. Where we at?
That's not covet the neighbor's house.
All right, this is the last one we're getting at. This is the one that we're going to deal with when we start talking about coveting. It's going to have pride and lust and arrogance. All that. And it's more, those are the ones that we kind of concentrating on today. And I know my spelling sucks, but y'all know what's up there, though. All right. So go ahead and keep reading.
That's not covet the neighbor's wife, nor his manservant.
Go ahead.
Nor his maidservant.
So you're not supposed to be coveting. This ain't, it didn't say you ain't supposed to steal it. We already read that. It said you're not supposed to covet. That means to look with your eyes and start lusting after it. Wanting it real bad. Wanting what they, nah, it's okay. You know, let's say I worked hard and I went and bought me a Cadillac. Then, you know, Brother Joe, oh man, I like your Cadillac. I want a Cadillac too. I'm gonna work hard too. I'm gonna go buy me a Cadillac. See, he didn't covet my Cadillac. He wanted his own Cadillac. When we start talking about coveting, when they say coveting your neighbor's things, it's talking about, like, I see what you got. I want what you have. I want your home. I want your family. I want your money. And don't think that these things don't happen. How you think people get robbed? You see what I'm saying? Like, you see somebody, you get to thinking about what they got. You coveting their stuff now. See, crimes and sins start with this, the one on the back end. This is the one that really set it all. What you think people lie for? They lie because they be proud. They don't want nobody to know what they done did. You see what? This is the biggest one that we don't really talk about. Because, and the reason we don't really talk about it is because we don't comprehend what's being said here. We too quick to think about actions. But this was a mentality. Thou shalt not covet. This is something all up in here. Let's keep moving. Where we at? Go ahead, read that.
Thou shalt not cover the neighbor's house. Thou shalt not cover the neighbor's wife.
Go ahead.
Nor his manservant. Nor his maidservant. Nor his ox. Nor his ass. Nor anything that is our neighbor.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 21. Now these are commandments again in Deuteronomy chapter 5, right? But we're not going to read all of them again. I just want to read this last one again. I just want to read this very last one. But I caught this because at first I was going, in the class I was putting together, at first I was just going to use the Deuteronomy chapter 5. But then I read it and I was like, oh no, this ain't going to work. I can't use Deuteronomy chapter 5. I got to use Exodus 20. And I'm going to show you why. Read verse 21.
Neither shall that desire that neighbor's
You don't
wife.
even say covet here. It give you a little more to it now. Now he just letting you know desire is not an action of physicality. That's in your brain. That's why it ain't no big deal when we read Jesus saying that if you what we gonna read when he say if you lust after your if you sleep with your neighbor's wife, when you think about it, you done already did it, right? Because you done already broke this commandment. You done already put yourself out there for breaking the commandments. Like that's what people, and see, people act like this one ain't so important. You know, it's okay to look on as long as I don't commit the act. I heard brothers literally say that. I can desire her beauty, but as long as I don't commit the act. So what commandment is this though? Because that's my daughter that you're looking at. Now you coveting my daughter. You understand what I'm saying? People act like that's not sin. But it offends you. You dig what I'm saying? I know it offends. Like, I know all of us in here pretty much got daughters. Let somebody get to looking at your daughter. You're going to have a problem with that. And eventually she going to be somebody else's. But grown man looking at my daughter like, what's your problem? You see, because that's yours. You see, so this is about loving your neighbor. Because all that eye contact and all, that's all up in here. That's all gateway to the brain. Alright? So, did you finish verse 21?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I told y'all this ain't February no more. Let's go on over to Matthew chapter 5. We're done with black history. We're going to dissect our own selves. Because we don't know how to get to the kingdom. We ain't going to be able to tell nobody else how to get there. And we be breaking down, we be dealing with the commandments, the commandments that's easy to keep. It's so easy for me to stop eating pork. I don't desire like pork. But I know one thing though, this one here, the rest of these pretty much too. The rest of these I can pretty much control. Like I don't walk around going to Kroger stealing candy bars. You know what I'm saying? Like I keep my mouth shut. I don't do too much lying. I keep my mouth shut. I don't want to say nothing. That's the same. I learned that's the same way. Just don't say nothing. Don't ask me no question. I don't need to answer nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way. It's better doing that than lie. You know what I'm saying? Then when we had thou shalt not steal, kill. I mean, look at man. You run up in my house, and that's a whole other set of circumstances. But other than that, live and let live. Right. See, all these over here easy to do. It's the one. It's the one we fight in battle because it's the one we don't even talk about. How many classes have you heard on this? Let's keep it moving. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Go ahead.
Think not that I've come to destroy the law.
So we just read the commandments. Everybody big on Jesus. Jesus didn't come to destroy the law, but what did he come to do?
Or the prophet. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
He said, I came because I had something to do. I had to die on the cross so that the world would get salvation. I came to fulfill. Keep going.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Alright, let's skip over to 27.
Ye have heard that
Pay attention now.
You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right, we heard that. That was in the law. He said, don't commit adultery. That was over here somewhere. That was over here. Don't commit adultery, right? But watch what he gonna say next. Go ahead.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery.
But if you looking after a woman and lust after her, you done broke this commandment. So now he basically said you broke this commandment and it's finna take you here. You finna do this physically. You done already did it mentally, but you finna do it. But it's a sin to do it mentally. That's what you gotta understand. Because I heard brothers, I know a brother personally, who said that it is not a sin as long as you don't commit the act. That brother was lying. I learned that. Because I took what he said to me and I went back to the book And I kept proving, I kept reading, and I'm like, nah, but the thoughts of foolishness is sin. Job made a covenant with my eye. It just never dawned on me till years later. Well, what commandment is this? Thou shalt not covet. That's the commandment that you breaking right here. Period. Don't even matter that you didn't actually, if you did the act or not. So therefore you learn. Cut the visual acts out. When I say the visual acts, that includes, and I'm trying to put it out there so you can understand, fellas. Cut the visual acts out, because that ain't yours. You designing somebody else's. Period. It ain't yours. That means it's somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that it's protocol. If it's my daughter, well then you know the protocol. Like Brother O'Shea, he moved up to Chicago. He see a young lady. He like go holler at her pops. Much respect. He so much respect. Guess what? Pops like, all right. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was so much respect. Like, I'm like, how can you say no? This is all under my watch now. You know what I'm saying? Like now I can go to the man like, okay, well, this is how you and my daughter gonna do this. You see what I'm saying? And it could be just like I wanted it to be, because she mine until I give her to you. See, that's how this works. So this is how anybody's daughter is. Grown daughters, whatever. I'm talking, every woman we see is either somebody's daughter or somebody's wife. That's how you gotta keep that in mind. Alright? And if it's somebody's wife, you already know. That's how you get killed. Now, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right, one way or the other. Yo, that's how you get killed. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6. Dang, that's crazy. I was really talking about the Lord, but you know what I'm saying? He might run up to somebody's house, somebody might come home. He's been on a long journey, he might come home. He might see his 12 gauge and the back by the front door. He might grab the back. You know, he might grab the back. Like, I'm going to beat everybody up in here. Right, exactly. So I'm just saying, this is one you got to learn. You can't be coveted. You can't be desiring something that you can't have. That's what it boils down to. If you can't have it, get it out your head. Alright? Proverbs chapter 6. Don't play with yourself either. Meaning make you think you can have, convince yourself that you can get this some kind of way, but you're wrong, because you're breaking other commandments. Play with yourself. Proverbs chapter 6, and we're going to start it at 20. Go ahead.
My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead them. When thou sleepest, it shall keep. When thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproof of instructions are the way of life.
So all that we've been talking about so far, this is the way. This is going to be the way to get you that salvation that you've been coveting after, that you've been really, really wanting all these years. This is the way, the commandment. That's why he said the commandment is a lamp. That means you can see now, and the law is light, and reproof of instructions are ways of life. So you can't be getting mad when somebody tell you what you did was wrong, because that's the way of. Hey, I ain't gotta tell you nothing, and I can just watch you fall off into your ditch and go to hell. That's basically the opposite of this life. But it's my job. If I see it in eyesight, I gotta bring it to you. And reproofs of instructions are the way of life. Go ahead.
To keep thee from the evil woman.
Oh, okay. Now everybody like to play like, oh, well, it's talking about that church. The other church. Okay, I agree with that. But if you go read Job, he always tell you that, it's double to that which is. Meaning that just because it's talking about a church, don't mean it just don't apply to something else. So we in Proverbs chapter 6. And start reading verse 24 again. Because this is what the commandment is going to do. It's going to keep you, go ahead.
To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
So now it's telling you something else here, like the flattery of a tongue. Like you don't even want to listen to that jargon. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what our tongue is doing, is flattering you. You don't even, like, and it ain't just even about the brothers. Sisters, y'all don't want to listen to these boys and these men all in your ear. Like you got somebody and something you belong to. You go and take counsel with that. That's where you go find your counsel with. Oh, my girlfriend said, or my homeboy said, or the guy I'm liking said. Like, right, but you taking counsel from the wrong place unless he's serving your God. Then he should be taking counsel, or she should be taking counsel according to the order. Go ahead, keep reading.
Lust not after her beauty.
So it's saying with this woman, don't lust. Here we go, back to this commandment here. Don't lust after her beauty, something that you seeing with your eyes in your heart. You see this? Lust not after her beauty in your heart. So that means you can't be looking at these women. Yeah, I mean, I'm serious when I say you can't be looking at them, because that's what you're going to do. If you keep putting them in your face, look, okay, you might can handle one, but you keep throwing all these different women in your face, see what happens. You're going to start noticing a curve or two more. Next thing you know, you're going to start noticing a line or two more. And now next thing you know, you covet. So you got to do like Job said. Job said, I made a covenant with my eyes. I'm not going to look upon a woman. But the best thing you do is keep your mouth shut. So that you don't, because it said you don't even need that interaction. Well, I ain't going to never get no wife that way. No, Isaac got a wife. You know what I'm saying? He went out, found a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Where you looking, though? You know what I'm saying? What kind of woman do you want? Beauty vain. So you looking with the eyes, or are you looking with the mind? Because Brother Elijah taught a class about that a couple weeks ago. You know, but go ahead, keep reading.
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. But by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
Go ahead.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
An adulteress, she hunt like somebody that willing to cheat on her husband. Like she look for. You know, she used the words like warning, nympho. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the words that she used, and she throw them out there at you. Go ahead, keep reading.
Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned?
Nah, you can't win. That's what that's saying. You can't. Can a man put fire in his book and not be burned? You can't. I'm sorry, man. I hate to be the bearer of the bad news to make you feel like, you know, you can have your cake and candy and all that and eat it too, however they want to say. No. You got to walk the other way. You got to keep your conversation to a minimum. You know, like to business only. You know what I'm saying? Keep the snickering and all the giggling down. Because these things lead to a path of death. Keep reading.
Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned?
Go ahead.
Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent.
Go ahead.
Man do not despise a thief if he still satisfy his soul.
Now they about to give us some understanding. Because we've been talking about committing adultery, but all of a sudden we start talking about stealing. Say, well, a man don't despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul. For example, if somebody broke in to the place up here and stole all the food and left all the money, you gonna know they ate. You gonna know somebody got it, especially when you find out he had a family of 5 and you know what I'm saying, he been so, you know, doing, you know, we might mess around and be like, man, we need to get some money for this brother, feed his family. We might need to look out for him. You know what I'm saying? But he stole though. You know, and the book even says somebody like that gonna steal, you gotta give back. You gotta give a certain percentage back. You know what I'm saying? Like if you stole, take it, give it back. Listen to what I'm saying. If you stole, give it back. Now watch this though. Go ahead.
But if he be found, he shall restore 7-fold. He shall give all the substance of his house.
Go ahead.
But whoso committed adultery with a woman lacking understanding, he that doeth it destroyed his own soul.
Yeah, because he don't understand. You can't give it back. Once you done made yourself one with it, it's over. That's the so not only have you stole, but you done stole and basically killed. Because you can't repair it, you can't take it back. You see what I'm saying? You done broke other commandments with this. You see? And that's why David got smashed. Like when David did it, because you could, bro, like you see what David had to do to finally make it where he could be walking around. Because when it was all said and done, David ended up getting that woman, and he was right. When I say he was right, like, okay, he paid for his sins, and, you know, let's say this 6-7 years after that act took place, like, it wasn't like he was living in sin no more. You know, sometimes we be living in sin, sleeping with these women. But look what he had to do to go through all that. You, first of all, was covenant. Then you went and committed adultery. Then you went and started lying to get this dude to have somebody else killed. You understand? All these sins are a result of you coveting. That's what it's all about. I'm saying this right here leads you all the way down this path the wrong way. This is the starting point. Last commandment. This is truly a starting point. If you can master this one, everything else is going to go smooth. But if you mess up this one, you're going downhill. Commandment number 10. That's the hidden commandment, one we don't like to talk about. Go ahead, finish this chapter.
Of wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
Because it was saying if you commit adultery, you lack understanding. And now it's saying, well, now you can't take this back. All you going to get is some dishonor. Because you come for mine, I'm coming at you. That's just how it works. Like, you know, I'm sorry. And that's how it works. And then you can't, the rage of a man is going to be, he come home working all hard all day, and then you know his wife playing with the little boys. Like, everybody in the house might end up dead. I mean, it just happens like that. And we've known stories. Let's go to Romans chapter 7. Romans chapter 7. We're going to read one verse here. I know it looks like we got a lot of scriptures, but we're not going to. Like, we got 2 stories in here that we're probably not going to read both of them. But you definitely, that's why I went ahead and copied it though, because I want you to read both of them. You know, so I also made the copy because those that got pencils and pens, I got another story we're going to put in here for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important that you do your own study. That's what I learned about being in college. Well, you know, you come to class, you get a little bit in, but if you don't go home and do nothing, you're not going to be able to succeed in this class. So you have to go home and do something. You got to put your own work in, you know, because I understand what I'm reading. You understand what I'm saying? But it's up to you to learn to understand this so that you can apply it. Because if you don't understand it, you ain't going to be able to use it. Romans 7:7, read that. Go ahead.
What shall we say then? Is the law sin?
No, the law, everything we've been reading, ain't nothing wrong with that. Go ahead.
God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law.
Go ahead.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
So I wasn't just making this up. Thou shalt not covet was this 10th commandment, and lust was put there. So I wasn't making that up. You understand what I'm saying? This is this is the reason why the class was titled Thou shalt not covet, pride, lust, and arrogance. Because I can see the arrogancy and the pride, but the lust showed that. Paul showed that one to me. Okay, so he's saying that, and again, that's showing you that that hangs off of that, which hangs off of this, which basically hangs off the greatest. He asked, "What's the greatest?" That's the original question in Matthew 22. All right, let's go on over to Mark chapter 4. Now I want to show y'all something else here. Matthew 13. I'm sorry, and then we're gonna go to Mark, but they the same thing. Now check this out. We got this parable, right? Jesus came with this parable about dropping the seed. Now the seed, for those of you that don't know the parable, you got homework. I didn't put all the parables in here. But what happened is, the seed, a man went out and he dropped the seed out on the ground. And it fell on all different kind of ground. It fell on stony ground. It fell on ground with weeds by it. And it even fell on ground that just didn't have, just barely nothing. Okay? It fell on all these different grounds. And if you know anything about vegetation, if you want something to grow, it needs a good solid ground to grow on so the roots can dig itself down in that ground. And the more the roots dig, the more this thing gonna grow. And these trees here got roots so big that some of them destroy houses. You know what I'm saying? So this is what you're supposed to be trying to be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. So you need to be, set in a foundation that's thick. Alright? You need to be a good ground. So Jesus came with this parable because the seed is the word of God that's in this parable. So, and the word is supposed to come to you and you're supposed to grow into a tree of life. This is what this parable is about. So that when I come by this brother, I should get life from him, not death. Okay? So, what happens is, in the parable, he started telling you things that was, because it was four basically, what places the ground fell on. But we're going to just discuss one. And this one is about us. See, because with us, we got the word, we in there now. We have took hold of the covenant and everything. We ain't got two paths we can travel. One is salvation, the other is this. Go ahead.
But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word.
I'm sorry. What's that? Verse 23 that you read? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I might need you to move up to 22. I'm sorry. 22, yo.
He also that receiveth seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world. Okay, so pay attention here. We got the cares of this world. That's one of the things here. Now we're going to take this down, so, if y'all don't have it written down, I can show you, we can make it look better later, but we're going to take this down now. Okay? So now we moving somewhere else. Alright? Now, it said here that the cares of this world,
This is one of the things that is going to destroy this word of God that's in you. Okay? Because that's what we talking about going to happen. The cares of this world. So that's one of them. Go ahead.
And the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches.
Okay, now we got another one. It said here, and where you at? I see it. Deceitfulness of riches. Go ahead.
Choke the word, and he become unfruitful.
Okay, so these things choke the word, and a person became unfruitful. All right, cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. All right, and we still dealing with pride, arrogancy, and lust. Because in reality, that's where we at now, pretty much pride and arrogancy and lust. That's the crazy thing about it, if you really understand what you're looking at. But we're gonna see some more. Let's go on over to Mark chapter 4 now. Same parable. And for those who know me, generally when we deal with the writings of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I tend to go to all of them. You know, that way there's no discrepancies and it's the fullest understanding. I don't like to just read one. Because sometimes one person might have you a little confused. You go get them out to 2 or 3 witnesses and you good. So we're going to go to Mark chapter 4 verse 16 through 19. Same parable, but we're going to learn some more. We're going to put a couple more things up there. Some more things are going to be filled in for us. Go ahead.
And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended.
Go ahead.
And these are they which are sown among thorns.
These were some of the other grounds we started reading about. We're just building into it. Go ahead.
Such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness.
So again, go ahead. The cares of this world and the deceitfulness. Go ahead.
Of riches, and the lust of other things is in.
So now we picked up another one. Lust of other things. Or again, coveting. But that's what it said. Lust of other things here. Because it said deceitfulness of riches and lust of other things. So we got riches, but then whatever else things that you got in this life. You got power. You got women. You got respect. You know, the word these rappers be throwing at us. You see what I'm saying? And when I say that, I'm saying because they breaking the commandments and they teaching men to do something. You see what I'm saying? So we walking around here wanting what or coveting what they teaching us. See, you learning from everything in life. You learning from the TV. He said, consider the X. You gonna learn from whatever you see. All right. So some of the we just said the lust of other things. We just gonna put, because we saw our money over here, we just gonna put power and fame, you know. We just gonna leave it like, you know, well, we're gonna put women too, because that's definitely in there. Lust of other things, okay? So we got the money over here. These are some of the things that destroy the word in you. You see, this is what we're talking about. These things get it out of you, that word that's in you. So you have to be mindful and careful. Keep going. Oh, where we going? Let's move over to Luke chapter 8. Luke chapter 8. Got some more. See, like I say, man, this is one of those, you know, I pray the Lord be with me as I deliver this, because I know it ain't just about us. You see what I'm saying? I was talking to a sister last night, and she was like, how the family? I was like, everybody sleep. I can work in this class now. So she said, what you teaching? I told her what it was. She was like, oh, that's going to be a good one. So, you know, I'm sitting here like, but see, it ain't mine. I'm trying to tell you, these ain't my scriptures. This ain't even my idea. You know what I'm saying? This hitting me as hard as it's hitting you. And if it ain't hitting you, I guess you just really doing good in life. You see what I'm saying? Because this ain't just about, when we start talking about covenant, it's not just about covenanting a woman. That's in there though. And that's a big problem amongst Israel men. But it's more to it than that. It said, like we read here, the lust of other things. Our power, the fame, those are some of the other things. Let's read this one in Luke here. Luke chapter 8. Luke 8 and 14. Go ahead.
And that which fell among thorns are they, which when they have heard, go forth and are choked with cares and riches and pleasures of this life.
Oh, so now we see another one. The pleasures of this life. These are the things And I know you're supposed to be able to enjoy the fruit of your labors. That's how, you know, enjoy the fruit of your labors. You're absolutely right. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just showing you the things that choke this word out of you. The pleasures of this life. Because we go after them. Big time. Okay? He said, and that which fell among thorns are they which, when they have heard, go forth and are choked with the cares of this riches and pleasures of life and bring forth no fruit to perfection. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be fruitful. Alright? Let's move on. Let's go over to Proverbs 16, 18, and 19. Proverbs chapter 16, 18, and 19. This is one this brother here should know quite well. This scripture got drilled in his head probably every Sabbath for about 5 years. He might not even need to go read it, but we ain't gonna freestyle here. We're gonna make sure to read it. Praise the Lord. Proverbs chapter 16, pick this up in verse 18. When you get there, go ahead and read it.
Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall.
Go ahead.
Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud.
So we see here it said pride go before destruction. Alright? So what we're getting at is before you find your fall of destruction, it was because you was proud. You was lifted up. Alright? So let's see if I can give you an example of that just in the regular old world. I got one. Pride going before destruction. My man Tupac Shakur. He dead, y'all. Tell me what you want to tell. He dead. He had a loudest mouth on the planet, though. He sat there in his music and said, I see death around the corner, and he went on and on talking about death. In his pride, it led right to destruction. That's what happened to him. He ended up dying. Pride go before destruction. Let's give you another example. Let's take riding down the street. Get in your car. You know, you look good. You don't want to get your clothes wrinkled. You ain't gonna put your seatbelt on for that. Ride down the street. You know, your wife next to you. Hey, put your seatbelt on. Clear the ticket. You know, being trying to give you the cute cliches. Next thing you know, you jam on the brake real hard because the idiot in front of you don't know how to drive. You hit them from behind and you go flying through the windshield. Pride go before destruction. It's all, and I'm just giving you, like, I'm just trying to give you something I can just think of, like, believe you me, you can sit in your life and really see your own self and see how proud you was before you was destroyed. Before you found the drama that hit your life. Let's go find it in the book, though. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 21. We're going to find the king here. 1 Kings chapter 21. 1 Kings chapter 21. This old King Ahab here. Pride goes. Matter of fact, we're going to look at both these kings. We're going to look at this one and the next one. I was going to leave one of them out, but we're going to read both of them. We ain't got nothing to do. Besides, it's on 3 o'clock. I got a whole hour. At least. Oh, I know I'm slow, man. I tell you, I'm slow. You know, but it's all good. I don't mind being slow because I know, yeah, that's one, but I know I could move too fast. I'd rather move slow and we get it. And you say, okay, I got you, Jediah. I got it. For you to be like, what did you just say? You know what I'm saying? Because then, what did you just learn? So I'd rather do it this way. 1 Kings chapter 21, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. We got a nice little story about Ahab. This Jezebel. For those of you who don't know, everybody tried to say Jezebel was a harlot, but Jezebel in reality was a queen of Israel. Just so you know. She was on some other stuff, but we're gonna find her in this story too. But when you get there, 1 Kings, and it's good to read these stories. This is like our examples in life. See, these people did it already, so that we can learn what to and what not to do. All right. Everybody can't get in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But the kings, they asked for recording. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after these things that Neighbo the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria.
Go ahead.
And Ahab spake unto Neighbor, saying, give me that vineyard that I may have it for a garden of herbs.
He already covered it. He already wrong. You know what I'm saying? He like, I want your vineyard. This is how it worked. Everybody had their own land back then. You know what I'm saying? We lived in the land, and it was inherited from our father to us. And we were going to give it to our children. King come along with, by the way, the Lord said he's going to take y'all stuff. But the king come along, and he like, I want your land. He like, I ain't giving it up. Go ahead.
And I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it, or it seemed good to thee. I will give thee the worth of it in money.
See, like, I'll buy it from him. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's the king. I'm going to get, but what's his name? Nabal, it's priceless, man. You know what I'm saying? My great-granddaddy lived on this land. Keep going.
And Neighbor said to Ahab, the Lord forbid me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee.
Go ahead.
And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Nabal the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my father.
Go ahead.
And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread.
Okay. So at this point, he pretty much was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, man, I can't get the land. He wanted this land bad. He didn't even want to eat after that. You know how you take a big loss? You don't want to eat after you take a big loss. Let something bad happen in your life. All you want to do is lay down. You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to see nobody. You just going to be stuck right there. That's what he was on. But guess who came around the corner? Go ahead.
But Jezreel, his wife.
That is not Jezreel.
But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said to him, why is thy spirit so sad that it is no bread?
So she come, his sweet darling wife. What's wrong, baby? Why you ain't eat? Just like a woman's supposed to come. Go ahead.
And he said to her, because I spake unto Nabal the Jezreelite, and he said unto him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard.
Go ahead.
And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel?
So now she reaching to his pride. She reaching to his arrogance. Ain't you the king? You see what I'm saying? Like, she reaching to his brain. Because he already was coveted, but it was turned down. Now she back itching at that covetousness. Go ahead. She putting that lust right back. She bringing the devil back into the room. Go ahead. Arise
and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Nabal the Jezreelite.
Then so she like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? She done stroked his ego. She like, I'm gonna make sure you get it. And see, you gotta pay this story a lot of attention, because you gotta be careful who you got on your team with you too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody it might be something you know ain't no good, but then somebody else be like, I'll do it for you. You ain't got to be the one to take care of it. I'll do it. But you going to suffer for it. Go ahead.
Right. Verse 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name.
See what she doing? She sponsoring, she coming in the name of Ahab, writing letters, saying what?
And sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Nabal.
Go ahead.
And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast, and set Nabal on high among the people. And set 2 men, son of Belial, before him, to bear witnesses against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out and stone him.
All this started from covenant. All this started because I want your land. Now we done sat here and we plot, plan, and strategize and got people out here lying. We involving all other kind of people because we covered. Because I want something I can't have. Keep reading.
And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people.
Go ahead.
And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones.
So now they done got him killed for this. All over the king coveting. We done seen lying, we done seen murder, basically thievery. You breaking all kinds of commandments, starting with 1. But you know, that's not that's how commandments work though. See, like when you want to commit adultery, you're gonna break all kind of other commandments. That's right. Just commit that 1. Okay? Let's skip down to verse 17.
And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying,
so now we about to hear from the Lord about this situation. You see what I'm saying? Like, because people act like the Lord don't see this. Like he ain't paying you no, nah, he see you. He gonna get you, he wanna see what you gonna do. How far are you gonna go out with this? Is you just gonna covet and let it go? And maybe I have some mercy on that. Or is you gonna covet and then see if you can get away with it, but then it's not so easy, so you stop there? Or is you gonna keep pushing and keep pushing until you get what you want? All that, then you ain't no question that you do it willfully. Go ahead, keep reading.
Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of neighbour. Brother, he has gone down to possess it.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt speak unto him,
he
saying,
like up in the land now. Like his head. You done got this man killed. You ain't got no shame in your game. And don't act like you don't know. You know what that woman did. You the king. But you know a decree done went out of your name. And you know this man dead over. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt
see the Lord saying the same thing. Like, dude, you done killed and like you got a lot of nerve. That's how, like, you serious? You like doing this on my land in the sight of me? You think I'm not gonna punish you for this? Go ahead.
And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, in the place where the dogs lick the blood of Naboth shall the dogs lick the blood, even thine.
Keep reading.
And Ahab said to Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord.
You see what he said? You sold yourself to work evil. Like you gave yourself over to it. You started off just wanting something. And then you was straight. You went back in and repented. You know, like, man, you all, you know, I can't have it. But then you let the woman come in there, talk, put something in your ear, and you sold yourself over. Now this man dead over this land. Go ahead.
Behold, I will bring evil upon thee.
Pride go before destruction. He's like, I'm going to bring evil upon you now. Go ahead.
And will take away the posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall.
So it ain't even just about the death of Ahab no more. It's over with for you. You know how you took this man's land who where he said his fathers left him? Well, you ain't gonna have no land to leave nobody. Anybody that pissed against the wall, any male, you out of here. Go ahead.
And him that is shut up and left in Israel.
Right, they did. Go ahead.
And will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah, for the provocations wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger and made Israel to sin.
But you see what he said? Like, you don't provoke me to anger with your ass. Like, you got to make sure we ain't provoking the Lord to anger with your ass. And the covetousness is the one that started all this. Your desire to have something. You wanted something, and then even when you found out you couldn't get it, then Satan sent his little crack in this, and you jumped on it. Be careful, brothers and sisters. It happens the same way with us. Next story. Chronicles. 2 Chronicles. Next story. Yeah, this class ain't gonna be as long as I thought, but I didn't even know if I was gonna read all these stories. But I think we need to see them. You know, a lot of times brothers kind of jump through them, and I be trying to, but I be wanting all the details. But this one here, Amaziah. Yeah. The reason why I put him in this story. Big reason why. 2 Chronicles chapter 25, pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read it.
Amaziah was 25 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And his mother's name was Jehoiadan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart.
See, now maybe we can comprehend a little better right now. It said he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart. Maybe we can comprehend that he wasn't stealing, he wasn't walking around here killing, he wasn't walking around here, but his mind was messed up. He had that pride all on him. He wasn't even poor. He wasn't dealing with astrology and witchcraft, but he had that pride and that arrogancy up in his brain. And see, kings, man, with all that money, it's hard to be humble with it. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, if you walk around here with millions, I mean, you're going to think you a god. That's what can't nobody tell you nothing. You can do 100 miles per hour down the street and you'll get stopped by the police, just break bread. That's how it works. You know, I found that out messing with my little lawyer. You know, I'm doing way too fast over the speed limit. I admitted it to the lawyer. I was going, look, I'll speed, man. Sorry. I thought the speed limit was 70, but it was 65. So I was going faster than normal. Next thing you know, he was like, well, we gonna drop the ticket down. This is what money do for you. Money or defense. That's what Ecclesiastes said. We gonna drop the ticket down, no points, you know, and you ain't gotta go to court. I'm like, really? How fast can you pay? I can pay right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bet. Money is defense. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that type of power of money to defend yourself, after a while, the more money you got, because that was just $100 defense for me. You know what I'm saying? The more money you got, don't think about it, you got hundreds of millions. You gonna feel like you can defend yourself from that arrogancy and that ego. That's another word. They made a movie about that ego. The ego will have you killed. Because the ego got you. But we're gonna get to the definition in a little bit. We ain't gonna jump the gun. So it said, there was a man who did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart. We don't learn the commandment that destroys your brain. It's coveting. And we've seen lust comes under there, or desires, and your pride and your arrogance. All that falls up under that. Go ahead, keep reading.
Now it came to pass, when the king was established to him, that he slew his servants that had killed the king, his father.
Now he getting a little popular with this too now. Go ahead.
But they slew not their children, but did as it was written in the law in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, the father shall not die for the children, neither shall the children die for the fathers, but every man shall die for his own sin.
So he was doing that which was right in the eyes of the Lord. That's what, because it said he did that which was written in Moses. But remember, it was like, not with a perfect heart, though. And this is where you got to check yourself at. Because see, this is the line we be walking. See, we gonna do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord. With your mind back. With your heart up. And he judging that. Go ahead, keep reading.
Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah together and made them captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, according to the houses of their fathers, throughout all Judah and Benjamin, and he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found them 300,000 choice men able to go forth to war that could handle spear and shield.
Go ahead.
He hired also 100,000 men, mighty men of valor, out of Israel for 100 times the silver. But there came a man of God to him, saying, O king.
So you gotta understand, this is a king. He slew a whole bunch of people at one point, but did right and let their children live. Okay. So now here come a man to God. You know, brother walking around here like Nate. You know, Nate got on, you know, $100 total. You know, King got on $20,000 total. You know what I'm saying? So he looking at, who the heck is you? You know what I'm saying? Now when he walking up on him, it said, man of God. Now keep reading.
O king, let not the army of Israel go with thee, for the Lord is not with Israel, to wit, with all the children of Ephraim. But thou wilt go, do it. Be strong for the battle.
So he telling them, you know, go ahead and do it. If you want to, go ahead.
God shall make thee fall before the enemy, for God has power to help and to cast down.
Go ahead, keep reading.
And Amaziah said to the men of God, but what shall we do for the 100 talents which I have given to the army of Israel? And the man of God answered, the Lord is able to give thee much more than this.
Go ahead.
Then Amaziah separated them to wit, the army that was come to him out of Ephraim, to go home again. Wherefore their anger was greatly kindled against Judah, and they returned home in great anger.
Go ahead.
And Amaziah straightened himself, and laid forth his people, and went to the valley of Salt, and smote of the children of Seir 10,000.
Yeah, keep reading.
And of the 10,000 left alive did the children of Judah carry away captive, and brought them unto the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, that they all were broken in pieces.
Keep reading.
For the soldiers of the army which Amaziah sent back, that should not go with him to battle, fell upon the cities of Judah, from Samaria even unto Beth-horon, and smote 3,000 of them, and took much spoil.
Go ahead.
Now it came to pass, after that Amaziah was come from the slaughter of Edomites, that he brought the gods of the children of Seir, and set them up to be his God, and bowed down himself before them, and burnt incense to them.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against them.
This all really started with pride. That's what it's all started with. Go ahead. Now he's serving other guys due to this pride. Go ahead.
Wherefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against Amaziah, and he sent unto him a prophet, which said unto him, why hast thou sought after the gods of the people, which could not deliver their own people out of thine hand?
Go ahead.
It came to pass, as he talked with him, that the king said unto him, art thou made of the king counsel? Wherefore, forbear, why should thou be smitten? Then the prophet forbade and said, I know that God had determined to destroy thee, because thou hast done this, and hast not hearkened unto my counsel.
Alright, keep going.
Then Amaziah, king of Judah, took advice, and sent to Joahaz, the son of Joahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us see one another in the face.
Go ahead.
And Joahaz, king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give that daughter to my son to wife. And there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon, and trode down the thistle.
Keep reading.
Thou sayest, Lo, thou hast smitten the Edomites, and thy heart lifted thee up to boast.
So we reading all this, but you can read it some more on your own, but pay attention here. He said, Thou sayest, Lo, thou hast smitten the Edomite, and thy heart lifted thee up to boast. So I had already read the story, so I knew he was proud. You see what I'm saying? But that's what he's showing you, like, yeah, you can proud with that. Keep going.
Abide now at home. Why shouldest thou meddle to thine hurt, that thou shouldest fall, even thou and Judah with thee?
Go ahead.
But Amaziah would not.
But your pride had your ears shut. You don't even want to hear what, you know, somebody coming at you, they telling you right. They're giving you good counsel, but you don't want to hear it. He said, but Amaziah would not hear it. Go ahead.
For it came of God.
But look where it came from. But it had came from the Lord. The Lord was rebuking that evil that you thought to do. Go ahead.
That he might deliver them into the hands of their enemies, because they sought after the gods of Edom.
Go ahead.
So Joahaz, king of Israel, went up, and they saw one another in the face, both he and Amaziah, king of Judah, at Beth Shemesh, which belonged to Judah. And Judah was put to worse before Israel, and they fled every man to his tent.
Go ahead.
And Joahaz, the king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joahaz, the son of Joahaz, at Bethshemesh, and brought him to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate 400 cubits.
Go ahead.
And he took all the gold and the silver and all the vessels that were found in the house of God with Obededom, and the treasures of the king's house, the hostages also, and returned to Samaria.
Go ahead.
And Amaziah, the son of Joahaz, king of Judah, lived after the death of Joahaz, son of Joahaz, king of Israel, 15 years.
That's good. But what we get at there is really his pride led to his destruction. Let's go on over to 1 Samuel chapter 2. 1 Samuel chapter 2. 1 Samuel chapter 2. We're going to pick this up. So, you know, it's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to keep the commandment, but you got to get that mind right. And the way you deal with that is you got to suppress that covetousness. You got to suppress that desire to want what you can't have. You got to suppress that desire to be more than what you really are. 1 Samuel chapter 2, pick it up in verse 2.
There is none holy as the Lord, but there is none besides thee, neither is there any rock like our God.
Go ahead.
Talk no more so exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth.
Go ahead.
For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions always.
So the Lord is showing you, like, don't let arrogancy come out your mouth. You know, don't even speak about being more than what you really are. Like we find, it's a scripture in here. I think I got it in this class. Yes, in here, where it tell you let somebody else boast and praise about you. Okay, keep reading though.
Verse 4. The bones of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry cease. So that the barren has borne 7, and she that has many children is waxed feeble. The Lord kill it and make it alive. He bring it down to the grave and bring it up.
Go ahead.
The Lord make it poor and make it rich. He bring it low and lift it up. He raise up the poor out of the dust, and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointing.
Go ahead.
And Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli the priest.
Okay, I really just wanted us to check out how he said, don't let arrogancy come out of our mouth. But then the Lord just started, the prophet just started going on and on about how the Lord make poor and make rich. I just wanted to keep reading that. But really the point there is you're not supposed to let this stuff even come out of your mouth. And it start in your mind though. Let's go over to Ezekiel chapter 16 and let's look at Israel and its pride. Because it led to Israel's destruction. Ezekiel chapter 16, and we're going to run 7 through 8. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 7 through 8. 7 through 18. Now, we ain't have to read all of it, but we definitely going to start it, though. So this is about Israel. And this is Israel coming to life as a nation. Now, when you think about Israel right now, Israel as a nation don't really even exist. And the reason we're going to find here is pride. And the pride of Israel led to Israel's destruction. Chapter 16, verse 7, go ahead.
And I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased in waxing great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thine hair is grown, whereas there was naked and bare.
So now he's talking about the children of Israel, and he's saying this is how I started with you. You start off, he basically started off with this nation, and when they was nothing. Go ahead.
Now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, that time was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over thee, and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee.
This is when he gave them the commandments. He entered into a covenant with the children of Israel. Go ahead.
Said the Lord God, and that became his mine. Then washed I thee with water. Yea, I
skip down to verse 11.
I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets.
So he said, I started to make this nation look beautiful. I gave you ornaments and bracelets. Go ahead.
And a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears.
So he's still talking about a nation, and the Lord created this nation of Israel, made them very beautiful. Go ahead.
And a beautiful crown upon thine head. Thou was thy decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk and broader work.
Verse 14.
And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty.
So you look so good, everybody knew how good you look. Go ahead.
The heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I have put upon thee, said the Lord God. But thou didst trust in thy own beauty.
So, but you trusted in that beauty. You got proud. You got arrogant. Go ahead.
And plays the harlot because of thy renown.
Go ahead.
And pours out thy fornications on everyone that passed by. His it was.
Okay, so this is what Israel did. Israel was so beautiful, but we trusted in our own beauty. We got proud. We got arrogant. Now let's go find out what happens because of your pride and arrogance. Let's get down to verse 43. Go ahead.
Because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things. Behold, therefore I will also recompense thy way upon thine head.
So he said, well, because of the way you was acting, I'm going to come back on you for that. Because you didn't remember the start of all of your life. When I did all this making you look good, you just got beautiful. And then next thing you know, you didn't forget about who made you this way. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations.
Go ahead.
Behold, everyone that useth a proverb shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loveth her husband and her children. And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loveth her husband and their children. Your mother was an Hittite, and your father an Amorite. And thine elder sister is Samaria.
So it's still just talking about Israel, and it's giving you other nations. Your mother was this nation. Just talking about locations, though. Not that the Hittites are the mother of the children of Israel. Just talking about where you're located at. Go ahead.
She and her daughter that dwell at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwelleth at thy right hand is Solomon and her daughters.
Go ahead.
Yet hast thou not walked after their ways, nor done after their abominations. But as if that were a very little thing that was corrupted more than they in all their ways.
Right, he's like, you wasn't necessarily doing what they were doing, you did worse. Go ahead, keep reading.
As I live, said the Lord God, Sodom thy sister has not done, she nor her daughters as thou hast done, thou and thy daughter.
Right, because what you got to understand about Israel is they turn their back on the Lord. At least Sodom, and they still serving their same gods. Go ahead, keep reading.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom, pride.
So now see what the sin that now he said we done did worse to Sodom. But one of the sins that was there, it said, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride. Go ahead.
Fullness of bread and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters.
So and notice something else here that you should pay attention to. The abundance of idleness. That means you ain't doing nothing. This was a part of Sodom's sins. Okay, like you ain't when you ain't doing nothing, but they say idle mind is the devil's workshop. Right, that's what that's getting at. That's why later on in the book it talk about the elderly women sometimes being a little busybody in people's affairs. Because you ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't be that way. You know. So it says, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister. But you gotta remember, he said, you did worse than her. He said and this is what she got destroyed for. Sodom, pride, the fullness of bread, basically, you know, being rich. The fullness of bread, like I got everything. The abundance of idleness was in her and her daughters. Go ahead.
Hither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy, and they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good.
So he's like, so therefore I smashed them. And what do you think I'm gonna do to you? Because he said your sins was worse than hers. Let's go over to Psalms 81. I think that's what we're doing. Yeah, Psalms 81. You learned something. She ain't mad over there. Psalms 81. We're going to pick this up in verse 10. We still just showing you Israel. We saw what Sodom's end was. Now we're going to show you Israel. Because remember, pride go before destruction. So when you look in history, you see how each one of these kings, we read a couple of the kings, you know, they was lifted up in their beauty. But then we see destruction fell upon them. And we see destruction falls upon this particular nation. Psalms 81, pick it up in verse 10, go ahead.
I am the Lord their God, who brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Same one gave the commandments. Go ahead.
Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me.
Go ahead.
So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsel.
Right, so he's like, I just gave them up to whatever they want. You know, however they wanted to live their life, if they wanted to be rich, or if they wanted to have all the women, if they wanted to be renowned, I just let them have all of it. Go ahead.
Oh, that my people had hearkened to me, and Israel had walked in my way.
Yeah.
I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries.
But instead of him doing that, he allowed Nebuchadnezzar and different kings to come in there and smash Israel. Go ahead.
The haters of the Lord should have submitted themselves unto him.
Right, he's like, all I wanted was for the haters out there, the ones who hate me. Like, hey, I want you to submit yourselves. Go ahead.
But their time should have endured forever.
Go ahead. Talk about Israel's time. Should have endured forever. Go ahead.
He should have fed them also with the finest of the wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee.
Okay, let's go over to Matthew chapter 23. Now we're going to find another little sense of pride in here. Pride and arrogance. We almost done, believe it or not. You know, it look like we got a lot, but they are short. You know, and we pretty much getting the comprehension that this covetousness, this pride, this arrogancy, this ain't what we want. This ain't what we want on our rapture. You need to eliminate that. That's that 10th sin, that 10th commandment, the one that don't nobody. You know, it's funny because when you look at the commandments, 2 of them get altered, and they like the 2 most important ones. Like it say, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. That's all it say when they show you the commandments, and then they say thou shalt not covet. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just knocked off like all what it's talking about, but it's okay though. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. But I'm just showing you what the world has done. You know, the world is trying to eliminate God in the process. Matthew 23. We're going to start them off with verse 1. This is the scribes and the Pharisees. And we're just going to see some of the things that Jesus was telling them about how they was. He was calling them out. Go ahead.
Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Go ahead.
All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do.
Go ahead.
But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
Go ahead.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders. But they themselves do not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do, for to be seen of men, they make broad their calamities and enlarge the borders of their garments.
All right, so he said, look here. These people do this stuff to be seen of men. This is a characteristic that you need to make sure that you eliminate. You know what I'm saying? Like I was talking to somebody the other day, I'm like, well, dang, you know, I don't put on some nice clothes. I'm like, I say I'm putting it on for my wife. As soon as I walked in the house, I took them off. You see what I'm saying? So really, I was just doing it for somebody else to see. I wasn't even consciously thinking about it. You see? So what I'm getting at is, this is something that you got to get in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got to get in your mind, am I doing this for somebody else to see? Am I saying this for somebody else to speak about? Or is it for, you know, is it really for the better good of something? You know what I'm saying? Or is it, because you got to remember, it's all vanity. That's what everything is vanity. So, you know, because, you know, like, they got little rap songs all for somebody else to see. Right, we got to get that mentality out of our head. You know, am I driving this car for somebody else to think it look good? You see what I'm saying? You know, am I going to put these rims on my vehicle? You know, is it about to help the performance on my car? Or is it just because, you know, I want everybody to see I can afford some rims? You see what I'm saying? That's what you got to think about now. So he said, but all their works they do for it to be seen of men. They made broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. He's talking to the scribes and the Pharisees. Remember, he said, do what they tell you. But I'm just saying, don't get like them. Go ahead, keep reading.
And love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues.
Right.
And
go ahead, keep going.
And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, rabbi.
Right, they love to look important, and for people to call them rabbi, and like you somebody. But I'm saying this ain't supposed to be you. This is what we're getting at. You don't want what the scribes and Pharisees got. When we read in Matthew chapter 5, I don't think we read it, but it said if your righteousness don't succeed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, basically you going to hell. So you want to make sure you better than this. Keep going.
But be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brother. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called master, for one is your master, even Christ. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
Go ahead.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
So that's what it's all said and done. If you're going to humble yourself, the Lord will pick you up. And if you're going to exalt yourself, then He's going to abase you. He's going to humble you. That's what it's all about. Let's skip over to verse 25. When I say that's what it's all about for us, you know, we get out of pocket, we need the Lord to humble us a little bit. Like He did with Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was what? Daniel chapter 4. Put that in there. I read that. So how the Lord humbled him. The whole Daniel chapter 4. But anyway, where we at now? Verse 25, go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make the outside of the cup and of the platter, for the end they are full of extortion and excess. They blind Pharisees, thou blind Pharisee, clean first that which is in the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
So, and you got people like that. Well, the outside, they trying to make the outside look so good, especially a lot of these ministers, but the inside be evil. But we finding out what the evil is of the inside. It's like from the eye to the brain, and it's coveting, lusting. That's really be the evil that's in the inside. Go ahead, keep reading.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto whited sepulchres,
Go ahead.
which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness.
Go ahead.
Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
All right, let's go over to Proverbs chapter 8 now. Now we're going to do some more learning. Proverbs chapter 8. Proverbs chapter 8. And when you get there at verse 13, go ahead and read.
The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogance.
So the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogance. So we did something here. We went and got some definitions here. And one of the Hebrew definition for arrogant. And arrogant is the form of arrogancy, of being arrogant. Having an exaggerated sense of ability. So I always like to say, you think more of yourself than what you really are. You have an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or ability. Like right now, Kobe Bryant probably real arrogant. Because he think that he's still great and you got a bad angle, can't do nothing for your team. You know what I'm saying? So that would be just a quick example. Like you think you can do, think you greater than what you really are. At this, like a lot of athletes go through that. When they get to the tail end of their career, they still be out there. You know, a lot of boxers, that's why you see like Muhammad Ali. He's one of the most arrogant. And if you look at, and don't get it twisted, I was a Muhammad Ali fan. But I'm just telling you, he was very arrogant. And when you look at the very end of his career, if you ever watched him get the wig split out on with Larry Holmes, it's like the saddest thing on earth. You talking about one of the greatest boxers ever. That's what your arrogance is. Remember, pride goes to destruction. See, pride had them not knowing when to stop. And see, I'm saying this to you because, you know, this applies to life, for your life, all the way around the board. You can get to a matter and be like, oh, wait a minute. Is this the proud move or is this the humble move? Because I know if I take the proud move, I'm going to be destroyed somewhere in this. Okay? So that's what arrogance is. Arrogance is when you think, and really Muhammad Ali is a great example, because that might have been the most proud Jake ever in sports. I mean, he just talked about, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, you know. But I'm saying, but that whole mindset that he had, you call it marketing or whatever, but when it was all said and done, in the early 80s, you sure was getting your head split, and now when you look at him, you see his destruction. Can't barely talk, can't barely move. There's old men out here who probably beat the crap out of him now. You know, moving quick as ever, working out. I'll be watching, looking on TV, looking on the internet, you see old men all cut up. Muhammad Ali barely can move now. Pride go before destruction. Arrogance led him down that path. Let's move over to our next scripture. Let's go over to Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27:2. We talked about this. We're going to look up some more words for us when we get over there to the New Testament. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 2. When you get there, go ahead and read it.
Let another man praise thee.
So when it's all said, let somebody else talk about how good you did. I don't need to hear you tell me how good you, Brother Nate, how you doing feeling? Man, I'll bring it, man. I had the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, man. Oh, okay. But see, I mean, that, you know, I'm just messing with Brother Nate, because that ain't never happened. But I'm saying, let somebody else tell me about what your works are. You know, Brother DeMarcus, man, he's like the best mechanic around. He can fix my whole house. Instead of Brother Mark coming in, man, you know, I'm bomb at working, man. I can fix anything in here. You see, the next thing you know, I give him a problem, he didn't know it was too hard to fix. Everybody else fixes it, now he's sitting there looking dumb. That's what happened. Not saying that happened, but that's what happened though. When you get to popping off in the mouth saying you more than what you really are, then somebody call you out on that. You know, you don't need, not knowing that they done already had like 80 other people trying to figure it out. Well, let's see if this dude, he say he can fix everything. Let's see if he really can. You know, now you look stupid. You know, that's what pride go before destruction. You just don't let arrogancy come out your mouth. So he just read here, let somebody else boast about what you do. Alright? Let's go over to Psalm chapter 10. That's one thing I like about Brother Elijah. You don't hear him pretty much saying, I'm the bomb teacher, or I know I threw down. Or, you know, sometimes he might tell you, I made sure that when I was done, there wasn't nothing else you could say. You know, he might make a statement like that. But he don't just say, well, you know, I'm one of the best teachers. But we'll tell him. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else exalt you. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Because it really don't matter about what you think about yourself. You know, so you can be a cloud, what is it, a cloud without wind or something like that? A cloud without rain. You know what I'm saying? Really, that's really the purpose for the clouds. To provide us some rain. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they shelter from the sun and provide us some rain. But that's what you are if you're going to just be boasting about yourself. Like, because you might not really be able to come through. You see what I'm saying? Like, just think, you know, Michael Jordan didn't win 13 championships. He got 6. He lost it quite a few times. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but I'm the best. Can't nobody beat me. Okay, but you just got beat last week. You see? That's how that works. So you just best off let somebody else say you the best. Let somebody else say you good. Let somebody else boast upon you. Proverbs, what we at? No, Psalms 10 in verse 1 through 11. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor.
You see what it say? The wicked in his pride, he gonna persecute the poor. Notice though, that's where pride lie with the wicked. Keep going.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasted of his heart desire, and blessed the covenants whom the Lord abhorred.
So he's saying the wicked gonna boast of his heart's desires. Go ahead, keep reading.
The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts.
Right.
His ways.
We see that with these like these celebrities, these stars. Like God don't be there. I know they walk up, well, I like to thank the Lord with him. You really just saying that because that's the proper thing to say, that we've been doing a tradition for the past 50 years coming up to the stage. You and God that had nothing to do with this project. You know what I'm saying? It was you and all that money and all that studio time and all that work that you put into it. This is what you wanted to do. You and maybe your God. Something to think about. Because it just say here, for the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his face or countenance would not seek after God. God is not even in his thoughts. Keep reading.
His ways are always grievous. Thy judgment are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, but I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. On his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places do he murder the innocent. His eyes are probably set against the poor. He lied in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lied in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net.
Go ahead.
He croucheth and humbled himself, that the poor may fall by his strong.
He humbled himself just really just getting an advantage. And we do that sometimes. That's what happens when you see these preachers. You know what I'm saying? Like these preachers will humble themselves just to make them seem godly. So you have to watch when people do that as a game. Go ahead.
He has said in his heart, God has forgotten, he hided his face, he would never see it.
That's what the wicked be preaching. Let's go over to Psalm 49. Psalm chapter 49, since we here. We in the book of Psalms. And we're going to start off at verse 1. We're going to read all of it. We're going to start at verse 1 though. Go ahead.
Hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline my ear to a parable. I will open my dark sayings upon the heart. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of mine heels shall compass me about?
Go ahead.
They that trust in their wealth, and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him.
So notice what it's saying here. He's saying, for they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother. So when you hear people boasting and being so, like, you really can't save nobody. You ain't got no power. You can't do nothing. But you so high and you so mighty. Go ahead, keep reading.
For the redemption of that soul is precious,
right,
and it ceaseth forever, that he should still live forever and not see corruption. So when
it's all said and done, brothers and sisters, it ain't even about money. That's what it was all said and done. Cause that's what most people brag about, is what they have gotten and what they accomplished. But it ain't about money. It's really about, can you save your brother? When it's all said and done, do you have what it takes to save lives? That make you more in this world than what anything. Like, if you really think about the people who in history we kind of still know about. You know about your rich, but then you still know about your people who, your people who save lives or save livelihoods. Like, when you think about the Underground Railroad, first thing they want to name, all the people they was down here delivering slaves. Or you think of your Martin Luther Kings, your Gandhis, your Malcolm X, all these people, what you think about them and what they did was for somebody else. You don't think about them and their riches. So I'm saying that it's not, the money can't redeem when it's all said and done. The money, it don't save nothing. And that's what people boast about. But go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 11. No, verse 10. But he that seeth wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others.
Right, because when it's all said and done, your money going to somebody else. Go ahead.
Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever.
Right, they thought that they was like, they full of pride. That's what they are, full of pride. They thought their house was going to continue forever. Go ahead.
And their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names.
Yeah. Let's go over to Romans chapter 1. Romans chapter 1. This one we familiar with, but now we're going to start learning a couple of terms here. Romans chapter 1. And we're going to pick this up at verse 21. Romans chapter 1 and verse 21. Go ahead.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible men, and to birds.
Wait, I'm sorry. Romans chapter 1, verse 21. I think you started at 22. Verse 21. Go ahead.
Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful.
Okay, so this is what we start. We starting off here because we know God. So we have to make sure it says because that when we about to discuss some ends of some people. They. Okay, but we know God. It says for they glorify not God, neither were thankful. So basically they were proud. We're gonna see that later. Basically they were proud. We gotta stay humble. So we gotta make sure we continue to give all our thanks and all our glory to God. Keep reading.
But became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was dark.
Right, he said, but they became vain, you know, in their imagination. And therefore their heart got darker. So they lost that light. Okay, they knew God, but they lost that light. Go ahead, keep reading.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
So again, we can put everything together already. You're not supposed to even profess yourself to be nothing. Don't let arrogance come out your mouth. We read that. He said, but professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Go ahead.
And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things.
So what happened to them?
Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own heart.
So he said he gave them up to uncleanness through what was already going on in their head anyway, the lust of their own hearts. Go ahead.
To dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
So this was the result of their pride. It's like now it said dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Go ahead.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
Let's skip down to verse 29. Go ahead. No, 28.
And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness.
Okay, so these are some of the things of unrighteousness. So it said being filled with all unrighteousness. One of the first ones we got up here was fornication. Go ahead. We know what fornication is. That's when you having sexual acts and you ain't got no business happening. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Wickedness.
Wickedness. Wickedness is really is a compilation of it all. You're gonna be wicked. You're gonna dibble and dabble with all the sins. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Covetousness.
All right, covetousness. Go ahead. That's to want and to desire. We read that. Because we read, thou shalt not covet, but then we turn around and read, thou shalt not desire. So we know we can put them together. Go ahead.
Malicious.
All right, now we're going to look up malicious. Malicious, by definition, is showing malice. Or basically malice is like hatefulness. It's a type of hatefulness toward people. All right. So he's saying these are the characteristics. Go ahead, keep reading.
Full of envy.
Envy is when you want something that ain't yours. That's what envy is. You want something that's not yours. And that falls under covetousness as well. Now jealousy, it belongs to you. And you want it. Like the Lord is jealous over us. Paul said, I was jealous over you with godly jealousy. But envy is when it ain't yours. Envy and coveting go hand in hand. You want your neighbor's wife. Because remember I tell you, envy cut to the bone. You be able to say envy is the one that's going to hurt you. Alright? So he's saying envy. Go ahead.
Murder.
Murder, we know what that is. Keep reading.
Debate. Deceit. Malignity.
Okay, now let's find out what malignity is here. Y'all know what that means? I don't. We're going to find out today. Matter of fact, I think we got a definition here. Paper. I don't know what I did on paper.
Oh, there we go.
Alright, so we got, what we got? Malignity. Okay. Tending to do evil. That's what that one is. When you had a tendency to do evil. Alright, so that puts you in the malignity. Alright, whisperers. You know what the whisperers is? Somebody always popping on, always, yup, got you. Exactly. You know, you always got something to say about somebody. You know, just be quiet. Okay? Backbiters. They fall into the same thing too. Like you always, you know, somebody told you something, like you can went behind their back, told somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, that ain't cool. Like, it doesn't. Haters of God. And when you say haters of God, it's because basically God done gave you something to do, you don't want to do it. That's what we getting these haters of God from. You know, because you hate God by action. It's not like they saying, oh, I can't stand God. You know, because then you might disqualify yourself. Like, I'm not a hater of God. I love God. Right, but if you doing what God said do, that's what makes you a hater of God. Then it says, keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Backlighters, haters of God. Despiteful. Proud. Boasters.
Right. Now, boasters, again, is somebody who fought. Like, if you pay any attention, we breaking that 10th commandment over and over with most of these things here. You know what I'm saying? Like, boastful is when you basically, you know, you saying more, you arrogant. Arrogant people gonna boast. Okay? Keep going.
Inventors of evil things. Disobedient to parents.
Go ahead.
Without understanding. Covenant breakers. Without natural affection.
So you supposed to covenant breaker somebody who can't keep their promise. You done went into an agreement with somebody, and now you can't seem to be, you seem like you always reneging on your promise. Keep going.
Implacable. Unmerciful.
Now, go ahead.
Who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, and only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
So he's saying these people are worthy of death. That's what it just said. I think we looked up implacable, but I don't see it nowhere. You didn't see it? I didn't see it either. Okay, well, we're going to have to go look up implacable. We got this big old dictionary here, but we'll do that a little later. But we still got some more. Let's go on over to, let's go over to 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2. And we're going to read verse 15 and 16. It's important that we know what these words are, though, so that we can make sure that we qualify or disqualifying ourselves. Okay? And implacable means not to be appeased or pacified. Somebody implacable is somebody who you can't seem to get calm. They always, you know, they always gonna have a problem, and you try to it's like you gotta calm them down all the time. That's somebody who's implacable. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and you gotta think of what take you there. You see what I'm saying? It's up in here. What take you there? Okay? And really, it go back to pride. That's what and I'm telling you, we're gonna read that. We're gonna find what take you there. We're gonna find that shortly. But let's go to 1 John chapter 2, pick it up at verse 15 to 16. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Love not the world.
So now, see, this is the whole thing. We ain't supposed to be loving the world. What else?
Neither the things that are in the world.
We're not supposed to be. I told you the world had you out here trying to cover. I mean, then the world had you out here listening to these musicians. And they just be lying to you, selling you tickets. They selling you hell tickets. That's what because if you walk around quoting their lyrics over and over again, and you programming your mind with what their words is, you gonna go to hell with that. And it ain't even just the rappers. It'll be all the whole shebang, all your stars, all your TV. When I say all, I don't mean 100%, but I mean all enough to say that pretty much anyone that you're looking at. You know, your TV, everything, all that stuff is filled with that 10th commandment breaking, that thou shalt not covet, that lust, that arrogancy, that pride. All right, finish reading that, verse 15 to 16.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
You see that? If you're going to love the world, the love of the Father ain't even in you. Go ahead.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
You see that? The lust of the flesh and the pride of life is not of the Father, it's of the world. You know, like even when you go to the game and your son has been playing football and he just been stunning them. You know, he just killing them. And now yeah, that's my son, and you gonna get proud. Now you might not go commit no sins because that's your son and he did so, but that's what you gonna be. You gonna walk around the rest of the day like you the greatest, like you a greater parent than the rest of the parents. Because your son run a 4-2 while he fat inside. That's what you think you a greater parent now. You know what I'm saying? But that's of the world though. You know, the world got you, you know, your daughter the one the Miss America pageant. Now you think your daughter better than everybody else's daughter because she don't want her because she cuter? Like really? You know, that's not of God. That's what it's all. That's all we're getting at. It's just not of God. It's what the world tells you. Now, you know, and I'm not saying, oh, well, I can't let my daughter get into a beauty contest. I don't care. I'm just letting you know that when you start thinking that you better than somebody else because of your physicalities, you know what I'm saying? Now you done stepped out there in the realm of the world and the pride of this life. Let's go over to Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5, and we're going to pick this up at 16, and we're going to learn some more words today. Yes, we are. Yeah, praise the Lord. Not Proverbs, Galatians chapter 5, verse 16, and when you get there, go ahead.
This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
So if you want to walk, if you walk in the Spirit, if you walk based off the word of God, then the lust of the flesh not gonna get you like that. You're not gonna be having to fight to, you know, to not look at the women. You know what I'm saying? So that you lusting over them, or you're not gonna be desiring, you know, your neighbor's crib, or you know they got they dog is I want that dog. I want that particular blue pill. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take that bad boy. He going to become mine now. I'm like, you ain't going to be like that. You ain't going to want when somebody work for so hard to put in their pocket when you deal with these commandments. Go ahead, keep reading.
For the flesh lusted against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are... See, you got to understand what he just read. Read that part again. For the flesh lusted against the Spirit.
The flesh. We are the flesh. Evil stuff feel good. You see what I'm saying? Like that whole breaking that last commandment, all that stuff make you physically feel good. Thou should not covet. Now next thing you know, you sitting there with the nicest car, the nicest jewelry, and 6 women in your car. That make you feel good. It make you look good to the world. Remember, we just read that the world is contrary to God. He said that these things go against each other. Read it one more time.
For the flesh lusted against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh.
See, they battling against each other because the Spirit is telling you something totally contrary to what the world is teaching you. Totally contrary. Go ahead, keep reading.
And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that you would.
Told you it's contrary. One to the other. Right. I done read this stuff so long, it's just planted in my brain. But I'm saying, that's what like they total opposite. You see what I'm saying? The word, like I tell you, when I'm on my way home, I guarantee you, we're going to see probably a billboard sign every exit, 4 every exit, displaying what you want me to have. This world is designed to get me to break the last commandment. If I can break the last commandment, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to end up breaking the rest of them. They're going to lead to me. That's what we should have learned today, that when we saw people that covet, they ended up breaking more commandments. This is the commandment we don't know nothing about. This is a commandment we never talk about. That's why it's an important one. So he's saying here, but we read verse 18.
But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. If you led by the Spirit,
you ain't going to see death. That's what we talking about, you ain't under the law. You walk under the Spirit, you're not going to find the consequences that you're going to find if you working with the flesh. Go ahead.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Adultery.
Okay, so we know what adultery is. Go ahead.
Fornication.
Okay, we know what fornication is. Go ahead.
Uncleanness.
Uncleanliness is, we know what that is. I mean, you ain't clean, you know, it's any way you want to look at it, whether it's sleeping with a woman on a menstrual, or whether you eating swine, anything that say unclean, you need to make sure you qualify yourself as that you on the opposite side of doing that. Go ahead.
Lasciviousness.
Lasciviousness. Inclined to lustfulness. Wanting. Lewd. So that's what lasciviousness, like you, basically lascivious, like this, it's in your mind to lust. That's what the lasciviousness is. Like it's like I'm gonna tell you where we could walk that line at. That's what porn is about. You know what I'm saying? That play, like it keeps, it's in your mind, like, and this is lasciviousness. When you looking at it, it's lasciviousness. And the people that's doing it, they done just committed so many sins. They might as well, shoot, probably all of them down to thou shalt not kill. They probably killing that one some kind of way, breaking that one. I don't know. But the point of the matter is, that's what lasciviousness is. Alright? It's lewdness. You know, it's like that strong desire, as we said here. It said incline to lustfulness. Okay? So again, the sin you breaking is thou shalt not commit. Thou shalt not covet. Go ahead.
Idolatry. Witchcraft.
Now we know with idolatry would have went on that first half of the commandments. And witchcraft, we put that in there with the first half of those commandments. But go ahead, hatred. No, hatred is just the opposite of the commandments. You either love or you hate. Okay? But go ahead to the next one.
Variance.
Variance. Now, we looked up variance. It's on here. Let me see what we got on here. And variance is... Yeah, I didn't see it. It's in here though. Variance is, what'd you say?
Contrary.
Contrary? That's funny because we were talking about that on the way here. Yeah, that's what, but that's really what it is. In a state of difference or disagreeable. You know what I'm saying? So basically what's going on is, if you got somebody who we can't never, like let's say you got your group. And it's somebody who always seem to have this contention. We can't never get you to agree with nothing that we trying to do. Let's go over we're going to hold our spot right there. And we're going to go over the Proverbs chapter, I think it was 13. I think we went to Proverbs chapter 13. I got to look at my notes because I had wrote it. Now I can't. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 10. Yup, go there. Proverbs 13 and 10. Read that one verse. Because we talking about variance here. And it's somebody who disagreeable. Like can't never seem to come. So basically they always got the contention. Read what this say. Go ahead.
Only by pride coming contention.
But that's what pride comes. Contention. When you see contention on the scene, somebody's sitting there with pride. Because we should be able to come to some type of agreement here. We should be able to, we people. We supposed to be God-fearing people. We should be able to come to some rational. We should be able to understand both parties and say, okay. But you always got somebody that's like you just keeping up the drama all the time. Why can't you agree with nothing? You see that in the book. Let's go back to Galatians 5 again. We're gonna look at the next one, which is emulations. Let y'all see what that was about. So that's what this. We just went through an emulation ceremony. If y'all know, you're going to know in a minute what I'm talking about. Go ahead. Verse 20. Start at 20 again.
Idolatry. Witchcraft.
Oh, shoot. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Hatred. Variance. Emulation.
Alright, emulation. That's how the dictionary ended up getting beat up. But they made good old tape for that. Alright, emulation. To emulate. To try to equal or excel, imitate with the effort to equal or surpass. So basically, we getting that emulate. What you're doing is you always competing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's in you. I gotta be the best. I gotta be better than everybody in here. I gotta run faster, talk better, read better. But that lays you down pride and arrogance. That's all the result of pride and arrogance. And I know a brother who swore he had to be the best teacher. He's like, I want to be a better teacher than Bowie. I want to be a better teacher than Danny, Elijah. And guess what? That boy out here teaching crazy doctrine. Now he'll tell you that angels sleep with men. He'll tell you Melchizedek, Shem. You follow what I'm saying? But his whole mindset was, I want to be the best. Now instead of him having you read the Bible, he's going to have you reading the Strong's Concordance. He's going to have you reading the book of Josephus, and Enoch, and whoever else, the book that sounds great too. That's what that gets you. Because it's messing with your psyche. That's what happens when you start messing with these sins up here. When they go on up here, this is where you turn reprobate. That thou should not covenant is gonna walk you down that path to reprobate. See, if you stealing, you know you wrong. You know you wrong. You see, it ain't no justify. Ain't no way you. I know I should have did that. I got a problem. Even when you lie, man, I know I didn't tell the truth, man. I need to stop that. But when you start getting that arrogance, see that arrogance that'll have you believing more of yourself than what you really are. That's the path, as we like to say, to the dark side. That's the path. Pride, that's the path. And that's why I say go before destruction. Where we at now?
We up at answer from last 20.
Yeah, keep up. We just did emulation. Go ahead.
Wrath, strife, sedition.
Go ahead. I'm gonna show you what sedition means in a minute.
Heresies.
All right. So sedition is conduct or speech enticing rebellious against the authority of the state. That's like heresy and sedition go together. Basically, you like against the Bible, because this is the state. We ain't talking about government, but you can be seditious to this government. But we talking about to the Bible and to the elders. You bucking on them. Every time I talk to you, you want to complain about what this elder doing, what that elder doing. You like, that's sedition. But all that again is in your brain. And what's the point? You see, what is it that you want in your mind that you think you better than all of them? Let's go with that arrogance. All right, keep it moving. Verse 21.
Envying, murders, drunkenness.
Now we know what envy. These are the things that get you out the kingdom. But you notice we running commandments down, and we know that murdering is wrong. But then you see envy and drunkenness don't mean you can't have a drink. It means that you need to watch yourself and do it with some temperance, some moderation. Make sure that you ain't walking around here as known as the drunk. And they ain't the wino type or something. That's a problem. Go ahead. But notice how they got them all. They got emulations, various seditious, heresies, lasciviousness, all in there with murder and all the rest of the commandments. So we say, well, what commandment was we breaking? All that time, it was thou should not covet. We just didn't see it. Or maybe some of us did see it, we just never talked about it. But the whole point is that's what you was breaking. That's the law. Go ahead.
Envying, murders, drunkenness, revelling, such like of the rich, I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past,
go ahead,
that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
Go ahead.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness.
See, a proud person can't even get these attributes. He said the fruit of the Spirit is peace, love, joy, long-suffering. Then he say temperance. See, temperance is like basically the opposite. If you temperate, that means you have learned to compress that desire. That's what temperance is. So that's like the opposite of coveting. You see what I'm saying? And these are the ones he's showing you how you will obtain. If you searching for this, you will obtain the ability to overcome the flesh. Because remember, it's the spirit versus the flesh. Go ahead.
Meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Okay, clear with that. Against such there is no law. Let's go over to that verse 26. I'll take it down to 26. Bro.
And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory.
So he's saying if we live in the Spirit, then we should be walking in the Spirit and not desiring the vain glory. You know, like, how good is my whip look? You see what I'm saying? That's that vain glory, straight up. You know, be with what you got, learn to be content. He said with food and raiment, be content. That's what you're supposed to be happy with. That's really all it's for. All. Food, raiment. That means you're supposed to have something on your back, and you're supposed to eat. He said you're supposed to have a house. I'm just telling you. This is what the book say. I don't make up the rules. Let's go over to Romans chapter 13. We almost done out here. Romans 13. But all we learned, you know, about this covenant today, because this is one of them that I haven't heard it discussed a lot. And I'm not saying don't nobody understand it. That ain't what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is sometimes when we don't talk about it, we miss the point. You know, we miss that this is what you're dealing with when you're dealing with that pride, when you're dealing with that arrogancy, and when you're dealing with those lusts, that you're dealing with coveting. And these are things you have to eliminate, because it is just as much as an evil as thou should not steal, or thou should not commit adultery. And then sometimes we also should learn today, sometimes you might be doing one sin, then you commit more than one sin with your act. Like committing adultery. How that's stealing and committing adultery. And it's more than one thing. You know, so we should have learned that a little bit today too. Alright, Romans chapter 13, and pick it up in verse 8. So where we started today, well, what is the greatest commandment? And he said it was 2. Love the Lord and love your neighbor. Watch this. Go ahead.
Owe no man anything, but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
So he said, owe no man anything, but to love one another. If you can do that, you have fulfilled the law. Why? Because when we built our graph today, hey, if you can love your neighbor, that means you done did the whole right 6. You done did the last 6 commandments. Go ahead. Watch them start naming them though.
For this, thou shalt not commit adultery.
No doubt.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not covet.
Keep
and
reading.
if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right, so if there's any other commandment, we done already learned, we could just stick them down somewhere. But he's saying, look, it's just really saying love your neighbor as yourself. That's the bottom line. If you don't want somebody doing it to you, don't you do it to somebody else. So when somebody say, well, you might say, Jay, you hard. I'm like, I'm hard on me too. You see what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. Oh, well, you wouldn't have said that to yourself. No, I probably wouldn't have did what you just did. But yeah, if I did what you just did, I probably would have said that to myself. Or wanted somebody else to tell me that as well, to rebuke me. Because otherwise, if I don't get rebuked, where am I going? There, thank you very much. Somebody paying attention. I was listening for the answer. If you don't get rebuked, if you don't get no correction, you're going to go to hell. Like that's what, you beat your child, not because you hate your child, because you don't want your child to continue down that path. Keep reading.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore love is the fulfilling of the law.
We read that. Keep going.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting or drunkenness, not in chambering or wantonness, not in strife and envy.
See how he's telling us to walk, but understand people that's walking this way, you know what the main sins they doing? Covet. It's one of the main, they somewhere drunk. Like that's what really hit me when I'm he's saying the night is far spent, the day is at hand, let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting and in drunkenness, not in chambering. Like when I see it, I just see like, okay, well, y'all at the club, and you gotta get you that 3rd cup of alcohol so that you can feel a little more amped up, so you can go holler at the chick who on her 6th cup of alcohol. So now she a little less amped up, so now she giving it. You understand? This is the environment that's painted. You see what I'm saying? All this to fulfill the lust of the flesh. And that's what you're doing when you sitting in that verse 13 category. Verse 14, go ahead.
But put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
So he's saying, but when it's all said and done, you need to put on the Lord Jesus Christ. You need to put that on. Like, what would Jesus do? We got 2 more. 2 Timothy chapter 10, verse 22. 2 10. Actually, when we get here, we're going to start up a little higher and we're going to read it down. That was my mistake on that. I knew it too when I typed it. But we're going to start at verse 20. Verse 20. And we're going to take it down to 22. That's how we're going to do it. Go ahead.
But in the great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor.
Go ahead.
If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor.
So if we can purge ourselves from the things that's going to cause us, what we read, the seditions and the maliciousness. If we can purge ourselves of these, then we're going to be vessels of honor. Keep going.
He shall be a vessel of honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use.
Able for the Lord to use us. Go ahead, keep reading.
Prepared unto every good work.
Now 22.
Flee also youthful lust.
See, that's what that's supposed to be. That lusting, that's supposed to be something that we was doing as kids. Something we was inquiring about as children. Flee also that useful lust. Go ahead.
But follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart.
With some more people that's doing it. So you need to watch who you got around you. Because sometimes the people around you, they out there doing evil, so you just gonna succumb to doing evil too. Ain't no big deal. I'm not gonna do what you're doing. I'm just gonna escort you there. Next thing you know, you getting out. Next thing you know, you commit the same iniquity that they could. You put yourself in that situation. Can a man put fire in his bosom and not be burned? No. Let's go over to our last scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. 1 Corinthians. And so all I can give, man, I hope we learn y'all should not covet, man. And in order for you to be able to not covet, you have to eliminate this pride, this arrogancy, and that lust. You got to get this out of you. Because if it's in you, then you're going to covet the rest of you and you're going to end up going to hell. We've seen that already. That's your end. Your end going to be reprobate. That's what's going to happen to you. And like Brother Elijah said, all we doing is just trying to blow the trumpet. You know what I'm saying? Hope you know what the trumpet sound like. You see what I mean? Like, cause that's what all we're doing is yelling at you. Pay some attention. 1 Corinthians 13, cause like you said last night, I don't think anybody really listening. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Like when you sitting there, you like, I don't really think anybody, I don't even expect you. I'm surprised when you actually caught on. When people actually feel like they got hit with this one today, then that's really the surprise. Because most of the time, and I even mean that when I go to the Israelite camps, and you go in there, you do a class like this, and they always point your head, that's how they be acting. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never looked at yourself, yeah, man, I be a little arrogant sometimes. You know, it's okay. It's okay to have some flaws. You see what I'm saying? The thing is, once you learn you got that flaw, start, like he said, mortify those members. Flee that youthfulness. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, pick it up at verse 11. When you get there, go ahead.
When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child.
That's that useful love. When you was a child, that's when you were supposed to do those things. But now that you're a grown man or woman, act accordingly. And we were talking about the other day, you know, these sisters out here, like, you know, you expect for your little teenage girl to walk out the house with her pants on too tight. And for the mama or daddy have to check on that. But if you a grown woman, you ain't got no business showing me half your derriere when we get out in public. You're supposed to know better. You're supposed to be an adult now. And you're supposed to act accordingly. When I was a child, I spake as a child. What else? Go ahead.
I understood as a child. I thought as a child.
Go ahead.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
And with that being said, you know, you can read the rest of that chapter about charity on your own. But with that being said, I hope we got some understanding in Jesus' name.
I'm so thankful. 'Cause I was in my sin, couldn't get out.